Hey there, this is Logan Crockett with Full Circle Music. I am coming to you from our recording studios here in Nashville, Tennessee, and we are here today to answer your questions about the music industry. So you guys asked, what exactly are PROs and what do they do for songwriters? Well, I've got the answer. So PROs, it's an acronym which stands for Performance Rights Organization, and in the United States there are three of them. They are called ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. In other countries, it's a little bit different. Most countries have only one PRO. If you're not in the United States, you can just look up on Google what is the songwriting PRO in my country. But for the United States, there are those three: ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. Publishers have ways to kind of get in with all three of them based on what songwriters are in a publishing roster, if different songwriters in the publishing roster are connected to the various PROs. But as an individual songwriter, you only register with one individual PRO. So if you're registered with ASCAP, you deal with ASCAP and not necessarily BMI or SESAC. So, also, just to be clear on the name itself, it's always cool to call them PROs. If you want to go the long version, Performance Rights Organization is fine. But sometimes when you see it in text, it can be a little confusing. But no one ever calls them pros. Don't call them pros. They are PROs. So what they actually do is basically in their name. They are performance rights organizations. As a songwriter, when you have a song copywritten, one of the rights that you get to control is its public performance. And so when a song is publicly performed, you should have some sort of right to some sort of royalty from that. And so when it comes to different businesses or organizations that might have some sort of public performance or display or presentation of a song, they actually need to register licenses with the PROs, so that way these companies can go ahead and get money and tracking information to the PROs, so that way the PROs can then go ahead and pay the songwriters and publishers. So for instance, if you are something like a dance studio or a church or a restaurant or a radio station or a TV station, anything like that, whether it involves a public performance like in an actual venue of some kind, or if it's more of a broadcasted public performance, you're going to need, if you're one of those organizations, you're going to need to pay the PROs some sort of fee in order to have the rights to play those songs. It's why if you notice, like anytime you ever go into like some sort of high-end store or anything like that, they're always playing some kind of music. It's part of the experience as far as the culture that they want to cultivate inside of that retail shop. But you'll notice that some stores that are I don't want to say lower end, but are more budget friendly perhaps, where if a store is specifically trying to be as absolutely affordable as possible, you'll notice that if you go in there, you probably won't hear music playing. And that's because if they aren't playing any music in that location, then they don't owe any of these fees to any of the PROs. So for instance, one example I can think of is a grocery store chain called Aldi. Aldi is known for budget pricing on all of their food, being really affordable. And if you go into an Aldi, unlike most other grocery stores, you'll notice that in an Aldi, there's no music playing. It can almost feel a little weird and throw you off at first, but that's why. So that way they're not paying these PROs because they're just not playing any music. So for the businesses, organizations, studios, whatever, that are doing some sort of public performance, if you are a songwriter, you have a right to some sort of royalty based on that public performance. So the PROs are tracking what is being played, what is being publicly performed, whether that's the original recording or like the master recording of your song, or maybe it's a cover song. Even if a cover band is performing one of your songs in some sort of venue, that is supposed to amount towards your royalties that you would receive through the PROs. So the PROs are tracking that, and when they track that, they pay you based on the public performances of your song that you've had. And that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of how it works as far as you getting money for your public performances. Now, there is one other really cool advantage to PROs, and that's that depending on who you're with and just depending on the relationship that you have with the PRO, sometimes they can help mentor and assist and guide you with a songwriting career, especially if you have a lot of things going on. I know that sometimes PROs have introduced songwriters to other industry players and all of that kind of thing. So regardless, if you're not with a PRO, it is definitely advised. We'll have links to all of the PROs down in the description below. You can check them all out. And there are reasons to go with different ones, but for the most part, any of them are really, really good. So go ahead and check them out. And if you're not currently with the PRO, but you have written songs and they have been released and they're out there, definitely make sure you register, because you could have some performance royalties that you haven't collected because you haven't been registered. So make sure you do that. It's a really good move. And that is the fundamental basics of what PROs are and what they do for songwriters. All right, thanks for watching. If you learned something, if this video was helpful to you, we really would appreciate it if you would go down there and hit that like button. It's super quick, super easy, super simple, and it does make us more friendly with the YouTube, so that would be awesome. But more importantly, we're actually doing a whole lot more videos just like this one, where we are answering the internet's top questions about the music industry. And so if you aren't subscribed to our channel and it sounds like you would love to hear our answers to some other questions, then please subscribe so that way you don't miss those. Also, speaking of questions, if you have any more questions, maybe there was something you weren't sure about regarding this video, or you're wondering about a completely different topic in the music industry, go ahead, go down to that comment section and write your question and let us know what's up, and we would be happy to get back to you and answer that, or maybe even make a future video about it. The last thing that I want to let you know is that at Full Circle Music, our team has created an awesome resource for you, totally free, and it's just a free mini training class that teaches you exactly what to do if you really want to have a career in the music industry. So if you would like to check out that free class, and again, it's totally for free, you can click right over here, and if you click on that button, then you should get immediate access to that class, and that would be really cool. Or if you would rather go and check out another video that answers a top question about the music industry, you can do that by clicking right up there.